this week we've got a few games to catch up on.
Yeah, we have. We've not done a video for a couple of weeks, but since then we have had some quite disappointing results. Losing against Swansea.
We picked out Elfie Mawson as a key battle, and he was the one who got the winner, and he played outstanding on the night, I thought.
He did. For a Liverpool perspective, it was just a poor performance all round, I thought. What do you think?
Yeah, we've done some poor performances this season, but that was one of them.
Yeah, and then the game after that, again another defeat, this time to West Brom, and well, what can you say about that?
Well, for a start we went out to the Cup, but for me the VAR, it was in its infancy and it's got a lot of issues to be resolved, if you ask me.
It completely ruined the experience for me. As you say, the 4 minutes for that penalty decision, no one in the ground knew what was going on.
Even the players were sort of like questioning every decision. It just got farcical in the end, but full marks to West Brom because they could have put us out of sight at half time.
Well, they could have done, and the VAR went for us. The decisions, the penalty decision, their goal being disallowed, great, that went for us, but it's still, in my book, I think it ruined the whole experience. The amount of time taken, no one knew what was going on. I don't think the people doing the VAR knew what was going on as well, I appreciate it is in its infancy, but it needs to get better than that.
It does resolve issues on the day, and it does get rid of the talking points, where people can sort of say yeah or nay. But hopefully we'll get better in time where they can do decisions sharpish, a lot quicker, and move on with the game.
Well, here's hoping, because it does need to happen.
It does.
Anyway, we were then back to winning ways, beating Huddersfield 3-0. I thought that was quite a good performance.
A solid performance from Liverpool.
And it's something we absolutely needed at that point as well, after losing 2.
It did, and coming into the game against Tottenham, we needed to actually get back on winning ways, so 3-0.
Well, exactly. that first goal from Chan, I know there's a bit of a deflection, but I just think it was a very, very well hit shot anyway.
I thought the deflection took it in, but the shot deserved its reward in the end.
Firmino, that was such an impossible angle he got that in, wasn't it?
But that's Bobby, isn't it? He can score that kind of goal.
Well, he can. I agree with Klopp. I think he is, the best there is, in the Premier League, other than Kane maybe, but because he gets more goals, but he's still up there.
Firmino is assist and everything else.
Exactly.
And then Mo Salah.
Well, yeah.
Carried on his scoring form. Although it's a penalty.
And hopefully he can carry on that goal scoring form today as well, when we play Tottenham. So getting on to the Spurs game, well, the last one, that was a bit humbling, was it? The 4-1 defeat at Wembley.
Yeah, Lovren started it, had a shocker.
He did.
And Liverpool never really recovered from that, did they really?
No, fair play to Tottenham for scoring against us, but it wasn't the fact that they outplayed us, it was more the fact that Lovren he had a complete and utter stinker, and he got taken off as well, didn't he, quite early on, which kind of showed everything.
Half an hour into a match against Spurs at Wembley, getting dragged off by Klopp, I think sums it all up really.
Well, absolutely.
You don't need to give Harry Kane and people like that opportunities.
Well, yeah. Well, anyway, this particular fixture last year at Anfield, we did beat them 2-0. Mane got both goals, so I'm hoping it's going to be a similar kind of.
Yeah. We need revenge after that 4-1, to exercise the demon.
We certainly do. It's getting all that revenge, isn't it? We do need to get that revenge.
I think it's going to be a good game today.
Saying that though, they are looking. They did just beat Manchester United recently, didn't they?
So yeah, they're coming into the game on form, buzzing a bit. But they've only won one at Anfield in, I think it's, 23 games. 23 games it is, yeah. So yeah, and the last time they actually did the double over us was in the 2010-2011 season, so hopefully they won't do it this season and we can beat them. So what do you think? Do you think we can win? I think we'll win 3-2. I think it's going to be a nice scoring game. Because I think Liverpool at home can score against anybody. I did prove that against Man City. But I think Liverpool can concede, and Tottenham, they've got the top goal scorer in the league, Harry Kane.
Well, yeah.
And so Van Dijk's going to be on his game.
Well, I think Tottenham are going to play into our hands a little bit, because I've always said that when the team goes toe-to-toe against us, then we do tend to beat them. It's if the team parks the buzz, that's when we struggle. And I cannot see Tottenham parking the buzz. I think they'll come and they'll have a game plan, and that will work into our hands, because we're better when teams play like that against us.
See, I think Tottenham are a bit like Liverpool, where they just attack, and forget what's going on at back. So
okay. Yeah.
I think it's going to be a nice scoring game.
Hopefully in our favour. So what do you think of the lineups then, the possible lineup? What are you going for this week?
Well, I think there'll be Karius in goal, Gomez at right back, Van Dijk, Matip and Robertson, all in form at the moment.
Okay.
Midfield, I think he'll go and try and match them up. It'll be Van Elden, I think Henderson will start, and Emre Can. And then up front will be the three amigos.
Yeah, so they're only really picking the from the last review we did, the change of Henderson really coming in instead of Oxlade-Chamberlain. I mean, I do think, personally, I think Oxlade-Chamberlain's been playing quite well.
He has, I just think Henderson's energy in midfield and his defensive qualities will go against him today for Tottenham, so he'll be in, I think.
Okay. And Matip, would you see him? Because I don't think he's been the best as well, has he, recently?
I think he really needs to improve, and I hope outside of Van Dijk he does start to get gradually better as the season comes to a close. You know, Matip, he started off really well, and he just seems to fall into a slump of some bad form. Ball touches and whatever.
Last season he did look a lot better than he has done this season. I think that's fair to say. I think he'd probably admit that himself. So the subs bench.
Well, I think there'll be Mignolet, obviously. I think Klavan will get the nod over Lovren.
Okay.
Arnold are probably on the bench. The Ox, Ings, Milner and Solanke I'll go for.
That seems quite a strong bench, actually. I mean, if you look at that, so if we do need to attack later on, you've got like Oxlade-Chamberlain and Alex-Andander who have got that attacking, mentality. And then maybe Ings, might get another run out because he had a few minutes, didn't he?
I think he should get a lot more time on the field, Danny Ings, because he was scoring a couple of goals, got injured, and he never really has come back. But I think Danny Ings is a really good striker, the fox in the box type of character.
So where do you see the key battles anyway then, Steve?
Well, the obvious one, it stands out straight away, is Harry Kane against Van Dijk, isn't it? Top goal scorer against the most expensive defender in the world.
It's going to be Harry Kane, to be honest, I think he could beat most defenders, even on an off day. So I think that's going to be a really, really difficult battle.
And the midfield, I think that's where the battle's going to be really won. That's going to be the battle that will win the war. The three midfield players have got to match Spurs up, Son, Dele Alli and Eriksen. On the day they can take teams apart. So if the midfield's on top of that, then that's going to be a crucial battle one for Liverpool. And then up front, Mo Salah against Vertonghen, or Van Dijk, whoever picks him up. Is it Van Dijk and Van Torgen, whatever he's called?
I struggle with names, as you know.
No,
Van Tongen
will pick him up.
I think Salah, hopefully he'll score. If he scores today, then he's got the record of getting to 20 Premier League goals, the quickest. I think it'll be in 25 games if he gets it today. So fingers crossed that Salah will. He doesn't really need fingers crossed most of the time, does he? He just scores them anyway.
I hope Mane comes to the party today, though, mate. I really do. Last couple of games he's been on form, then he's had a couple of not so good games. I hope today he really comes to the party. I
agree. I think Mane is and I think we mentioned this in previous videos, nowhere near as good as he was last season. But he's still looking good. He's still scoring goals. He's just not as good as the player that we remember from last season. So
I'll always say it carries a threat because nobody wants really run over the top, and Liverpool carry that threat. And if Mane and Salah are on the game, feeding off Firmino, Liverpool, I think will win today comfortably.
Okay, so predicted scores, and I think you mentioned it earlier, so
3-2 for me.
3-2. Well, I'm going for 2-1. I can see we're both going for them to score. I think that's because of the Kane threat.
I think so. Dele Alli as well. He's another one who can score, isn't he? Eriksen. I said I think we should have a chance where we should score like 4 or 5 goals. I'll go for 3-2.
I'll go for 2-1. As I say, it's a difficult one because we're always scoring goals, but we're always conceding, and I just think it might be a bit more of a battle, as you mentioned before, in midfield. So it might not be the kind of goals that we saw in the City game, but I still think we're going to come through it and win. And
I think the fullbacks have got to stop the crosses because if you get crossed into our box, obviously Hurricane's got to be a bigger threat. So stop the crosses, and I'll go for 3-2.
Okay, right. Well, short break, and we'll see you in a moment.
So welcome back. Now let's talk about the transfer news.
Well, there was a biggie, wasn't there? There's been a couple of loans out, so there was the biggie, Daniel Sturridge. What do you think of that one?
I'm glad he's gone to a Premier League team. West Brom, hopefully he can get in the team, start scoring a couple of goals, get back into a bit of groove. Because injuries derailed him at Anfield a bit, and then he couldn't get back in the team because of our starting three. So,
well, this is it. I think it's not his injuries at the moment. It's just the fact that he's not got much game time because of the people in front of him. I think West Brom's a good move for him. I think he will play a lot. I think he will score goals. Whether he's got a future at Anfield or not, it remains to be seen, really, doesn't it? I think we don't really play the style of football which would suit him anymore, which is a shame because I've always liked Daniel Sturridge myself.
Well, he's played for some big teams, hasn't he? Liverpool, Chelsea, City.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get into the West Brom team, start scoring.
Okay, and then there's El Jira, if that's how you say it. Yeah, he's gone to Sunderland on loan.
Again, it's probably a good move for him playing again in a competitive league instead of the under-23s. So hopefully he'll get a few games. Is there a stipulation where he has to play so many games for Sunderland?
I'm not entirely sure about that one, I've got to be honest, I'm not. But I think if he does get in, because they're doing the Championship anyway, so he's got a better chance, hasn't he, of getting it, play into the team for them.
Yeah. And
it's all minutes on, that's what he needs when I was
every player needs minutes on the pitch, and he can do everything in training, just got to get there and play on a competitive match. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll come off for him.
And talking about minutes, that leads us on to our next guy, the Mr. Forgotten man, Lazar Markovic. Not had a lot of minutes for us, has he?
He's not, because it cost us near £25 million, but
yeah.
On loan to Anderlecht in Belgium. So I'm not the strongest league in the world, but perhaps Lazar Markovic is.
It's not a bad team to go to as well as it is.
Yeah.
So, well, again, I'm not sure about that, but I really don't follow Belgian football that often, so I don't know who's champion. But I do know that I think they're a decent enough team at the Anderlecht. So.
And then Flano to Bolton.
Yeah. I know. He does need it. When he first came through, I thought he was great, local lad. He had all that passion, and everything, to succeed. He did do really well, but then he had a horrific injury. Was it like 2 years, or best part of 2 years he was out for? Never really got back into the swing of things since then. I know he had where was it, Burnley he was on loan?
He was on loan to Burnley, but he's gone in the pecking order at Anfield, hasn't he, with Gomez and Alex-Andander, so.
Well, that's true. Again, so maybe he can get into Bolton's team and resurrect his career, because to be honest, out of all the players we've just mentioned them four, I don't think any of them are going to be coming back, apart from El Jara. I think El Jara probably got a bit of a future ahead of him, but the other three, Sturridge, Flanagan and Markovic.
Well, as we touched on before, people like Kent and Wilson got out to Bristol City and the Championship team, so hopefully they can come back with a lot more experience.
Well, exactly. I mean, for them, I think that's the same as El Jara. They're going out to get them minutes, to get them games. The others, like Markovic, Flanagan and Sturridge, I don't think are necessarily going to be coming back and being Liverpool players.
No.
Okay, so we're just going to have another quick break and we'll just see you in a moment.
See you in a minute. Welcome back. Let's talk about the hot news this week, the hot topic.
Yeah, there wasn't really much apart from the big one, which was the transfer window. Obviously that closed. Now a lot of people said to me that they didn't think there was much activity for the Reds, and I do point out that we did break the world record for signing a defender for 75 million, and then we did sell someone else for 142. So it's not like we've done nothing. Maybe it wasn't the amount of people that other people expected, but I wasn't expecting us to bring 5-6 players in.
I wasn't 5-6. I wanted another body but Klopp's happy with the team he's got, so.
Yeah, well, I think it's more that he's got all this money burning a hole in his pocket, but he's not going to spend it for the sake of spending it. I think Klopp is like he did with Van Dijk. He knows his targets, and he's going to wait and get the right people at the right time. Our mistake over recent years has been when we've had a pocket full of money, we've basically thrown it away on people who weren't that good, because we've had to go for our second choices all the time.
Not that when you buy 5 or 6 players, integrating them into a team is very hard to do, but if you just get like 1 or 2, then it's easy to just mould them into the pattern, isn't it?
Well, absolutely, and especially if they're quality. If we like Van Dijk, he's like top quality. We've gone for that top quality. I think we're setting our stall like that. We're not going to buy just anyone, which we've been guilty of, a lot in the past. We're going to go for that top quality.
And we have got Alex-Andander coming back from injury as well, which will be like a fresh player because he's hardly played this season, so that's a good thing.
Well, true. So hopefully he can get fit. I don't think he's going to be playing today, as we touched on before, but it's hopefully he can get get better quick. So, moving on to Guess the Famous Koppite. Did you guess who it was?
This week, famous Koppite was. Oh, what do I mean?
No, you're doing it this week.
Well, famous Koppite was John Aldridge.
Okay, so this player played for Liverpool between 1987 and 89. He's got a lot of goals, 63 goals and 104 appearances.
And he played in a fantastic attacking lineup with Barnes, Beasley, and Aldridge. Brilliant.
Oh, he did. A lot of people think that team of 88 was, especially people our age, think that team of 88 was probably the finest Liverpool teams, that's ever existed. Really.
That would have been a great team in today's football, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Because you had Beasley and Barnes and Aldridge. It was just an amazing team.
Amazing team.
Well, that's it from us, unless you've got anything else to add to this then, Steve?
Well, I just want to say a sad loss for football when Stuart Regis passed away. When I was growing up as a kid, he was a great striker and scored some fantastic goals, so he will be missed.
He will, much missed, much missed.
So anyway, we'll see you on the next video.
And yeah, so we will try and do a review. I know that we're a bit late getting this preview out, but we'll try and get a review done in the next, well, if not today, but obviously tomorrow, and we'll get that out. Sorry there's been a bit of a lack of videos recently, but we did have some internet issues here, so but anyway, we're back up and running now. So we'll see you again.
See you soon.